Lara, help me out here. Your father, your family have been accused in everything under the sun. Yet we're now learning that Joe Biden had a fancy way of just avoiding a whole bunch of taxes.
Yeah, well, one of the more shocking things about this, actually, Pete, is that he got paid around $13 million. And
yes.
Part of that was for speaking. Who paid this guy more than $1 for a speech? I mean, he could barely get through one as it is. So I don't know how he earned that much. But truly, I mean, obviously, this is the height of hypocrisy. If they didn't have double standards, there would be no standards at all with the Democrats. You're right. Everything basically that they have accused Donald Trump, our family, Republicans for that matter, of doing, it always turns out the Democrats are doing. Remember, they tried to say that my father-in-law didn't pay taxes. It's actually Joe Biden now who has not paid his fair share of taxes. They tried to say that we were colluding with Russia in 2016. Hey, turns out that it was Hillary Clinton and the Clinton campaign and the Democrats who were actually doing that. They make all these mask rules and mandate we're all masked up, our kids are masked up in school, and then you see so many of these people who made those very rules partying it up with no masks on. So it's obvious hypocrisy. Everyone sees it. It is always rules for thee, but not for me when it comes to the Democrats. And obviously, Joe Biden gets away with a lot, and it turns out he doesn't pay his taxes.
It's true. Karl, the tax code is notoriously complicated. We know that wealthy people are able to hire accountants and lawyers and others that help them navigate it. In this particular case, that much money with so little actually counted as income. If you are a prospective future presidential candidate, you might think there's some scrutiny there, unless you're counting on there not being any.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that. You're right. These are S corps. These are pass-throughs. There are literally millions of them in the country. Most small businesses are pass-throughs, which means they pay at the individual tax rate, not at the corporate rate. They got, as you said, $13 million in income in 2017 and 2018 between Joe and Jill. They paid the 3.8% Medicare tax, the Obamacare tax, on $800,000 of that income. So they said our salary is $800,000, but we made a total of $13 million. So they didn't, by claiming that, by saying, well, it was income, but it wasn't a salary, they avoided the 3.8% tax. So they paid a tax of about $30,400. But if they paid it on all $13,500,000. Now, look, my company is an S corp, and I know how much the accountants take a look at this. And there is no way in heck, if I had made as much as $13 million in 2 years, that they would have allowed me to say you got $13 million in income, but your salary is only going to be $800,000, on which you pay not only you pay the tax rate, the income tax rate on everything, but we're going to sock you for an extra 3.8% only on $800,000 out of $13 million. I have no idea what accountant would have said that to Joe Biden. You can get away with that, but let's find that guy because he's got a lot of explaining to do.
Well, an accountant that's not counting on any accountability in the future. You're right. S corps are very common. Most people use them very straightforward and legally.
Right.
In this case, especially a tranche of that much money so soon, directed at a particular individual, it can't be above board.
My question is, why did this? I mean, this was in a tax in his filings that he made public last year. Why wasn't there a major newspaper that said, wait a minute, we've turned this over to tax experts and they tell us there's something strange here if he only paid the 3.8% tax on $800,000, not $13 million? Where was the media last year on this?
Lara, where were they?
Great question, Karl. The same media that didn't report on the laptop, right? Same people.
It's as if they wanted someone, as if they were maybe in a corner. I don't really know. Who could it be? Karl, Lara, thank you so
naive.
much.
You're so naive. I love it.
I know. Just an idealist. I can't believe it. Thank you both. Appreciate it.